When Lionel Ray Williams was arrested, he claimed it was a random robbery, but he could describe the interior of Sal's house to police, knowing what was in each room. He insisted he'd never seen Sal before, yet he stated the victim's full name. The most shocking detail: a copy of Sal's house key was found in Williams' pocket. How does a robber obtain a copy of his victim's house key beforehand? Police never asked this question. What really happened on the night of the 12th of February 1976? And why are there so many inconsistencies? This is the untold story of one of Hollywood's most mysterious murder cases. If you want to listen to this story to the end, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because we'll continue sharing the unknown truths about Sal Mineo's murder in the FBI's secret role. On the evening of Thursday, the 12th of February 1976, Sal Mineo was returning from rehearsal for P.S. Your Cat is Dead at the Westwood Playhouse in West Hollywood. At 9:55 p.m., he parked in the underground garage of his apartment at 8563 Holloway Drive. As he got out of his car, the night was quiet, with only distant traffic sounds. According to police reports, as Sal was locking his car door, a figure approached from behind. According to witness statements, the attacker shouted, "Give me money!" But here's where the first inconsistency begins. Sal's neighbor misses. Eleanor Martinelli told police, "Two men were arguing, but I didn't hear the word money." This statement was not included in the official report. The attacker stabbed Sal 3 times. The first blow struck the heart region, the second hit the left lung, and the third penetrated the liver area. According to the Los Angeles Coroner's Office report, the stab wounds appeared to be made at professional angles, as if by an experienced hand. This detail was also noteworthy. After Sal fell to the ground, the attacker fled. When neighbors came out after hearing the screams, Sal was still breathing. Neighbor Michael Richardson, who provided first aid, later gave police this statement. Sal tried to say, "He knows me," but couldn't complete the sentence. This statement was also not included in the official report. Detectives Robert Sillen and Lawrence Sheehanbaum from the Los Angeles Police Department arrived at the scene at 10:15 p.m. Initial examinations revealed striking details. Sal's wallet was in his jacket's inner pocket and contained $127. His keys were in his hand, his watch on his wrist. Why hadn't these valuables been taken in a robbery? Detective Sillen's original notes contained these observations. The victim's wallet was in plain sight. If the attacker wanted it, he could have easily taken it. Rolex watch on wrist worth approximately $2,000. Oscar nomination ring on right hand with precious stone. Why weren't these taken? These questions were never answered. Paramedic David Chin was the first responder to treat Sal. In a 2015 interview, he said Sal was conscious, trying to speak. He tried to say, "I know him," but blood filled his throat. I couldn't understand his last words completely, but he was definitely trying to say he knew someone. This statement was not included in the police report. The initial police report contained these details, but 24 hours later, the revised report stated, "Wallet stolen. Contained $43. Who made this change and why?" The Los Angeles Times published information from the initial report in its February 14 edition, but police denied the story. There were other strange details at the scene. The knife was never found. Blood traces were only where Sal fell. There were no blood traces in the direction the attacker fled. This also indicated a professional attack because the attacker had prevented blood contamination. Sarah Morrison, head of the crime scene investigation team, described the scene as too clean. Her report stated, "In a normal robbery case, there's chaos, signs of struggle. But this scene was orderly, as if it had been cleaned." This observation strengthened the theory that the attack was planned. The strangest detail: no fingerprints were found at the scene. Not on the car, not on Sal's jacket. This indicated the attacker wore gloves. But why would someone committing a random robbery wear gloves? The apartment security camera wasn't working that day. Building manager Tom Reynolds said, "An interesting coincidence. The camera malfunctioned that morning, but the technical service report stated camera was deliberately disabled." Lionel Ray Williams was a 19-year-old unemployed youth living in Los Angeles. In 1978, 2 years after Sal's death, he was arrested for another robbery. During questioning, he confessed, "I also killed Sal Mineo." But the timing and content of this confession were highly suspicious. According to Williams' statement, he had seen Sal randomly in West Hollywood that night and decided to rob him. But the interrogation transcripts contained shocking details. Williams could describe the interior layout of Sal's house. "There's a large mirror on the left side, James Dean poster hanging on the right," he said. How did he know a house he'd never entered so well? Moreover, Williams told police, "I learned the name Sal Mineo from the newspaper," but during questioning said, "I killed Salvatore Mineo Jr. using his full name." Sal's full name was rarely used in the media. Where did he get this information? The most shocking detail was that among the items seized when Williams was arrested was a copy of Sal's house key. When the defense attorney asked where this key came from, Williams said, "I don't know. I found it. Police did not investigate this matter thoroughly." During the trial that began in 1979, many inconsistencies emerged. The prosecution argued Williams was guilty based on his own confession, but the defense attorney pointed out many contradictions. First, Williams was 5'6" tall and weighed 128 pounds. Sal was 5'7" and 154 pounds. According to the coroner's report, the stab wounds were made at strong downward angles. This suggested the attacker needed to be taller than Sal. Defense attorney Leonard Levitt called forensic expert Dr. Henry Lee to testify in court. After analyzing the angles of the stab wounds, Dr. Lee stated, "These wounds must have been made by someone at least 5'11" tall. Williams' height didn't match this." The prosecution dismissed this scientific evidence as speculation but couldn't provide an alternative explanation. Second, footprints found at the scene belonged to a size 10 shoe. Williams wore size 7. Police explained this inconsistency as multiple people were at the scene but didn't search for other suspects. Even more interesting was a cigarette butt found at the scene. DNA testing wasn't yet widespread, but a saliva sample had been taken. Williams didn't smoke and had O-positive blood type. The saliva sample from the cigarette butt was A-negative blood type. Third, witness descriptions didn't match Williams. Neighbor Mrs. Martinelli stated, "The attacker was tall and wearing a black leather jacket. When Williams was arrested, he was wearing a jean jacket and had no black leather jacket." Another neighbor, Raymond Fisher, said, "The attacker got into a white car while fleeing. Williams had no car and claimed to use public transportation that night." The most shocking moment during the trial was when even Williams' own attorney struggled to defend him. After the trial, Attorney Levitt told the press, "My client is guilty but didn't act alone. These words caused a major stir but weren't followed up. Despite all these inconsistencies, the court found Williams guilty of first-degree murder. The jury deliberated for 8 hours and reached a guilty verdict with a 10-2 vote. 2 jury members said there is reasonable doubt, but the majority won. Sentence: 51 years in prison, but many legal experts said this decision was a hastily closed case. FBI files released in 2003 under the Freedom of Information Act brought a different perspective to Sal Mineo's death. The FBI had been tracking Sal in the person of interest category from 1,970 to 1,976. The FBI file contained this information. Sal participated in anti-Vietnam War protests. He had connections with the Gay Liberation Front. He was doing radical theater productions. The file used the term national security concern. The most notable document was a threatening letter Sal received 3 days before his death. The FBI had kept a copy of this letter, which read, "Dirty homosexual! Stop polluting Hollywood! We will clean you up." The letter had been sent anonymously, and the original disappeared from Sal's home after the murder. FBI agents had searched the house within 48 hours of Sal's death. They said it was routine procedure, but normally local police were sufficient in such cases. Why was the FBI so interested? The list of items missing from Sal's home was in the murder case file. Personal diary, letters related to James Dean, photo albums, and politically sensitive documents were missing. The total value of these items was around $50,000. When Lionel Ray Williams was asked what he did with these items, he said, "I only took the wallet," police said. Other people could have stolen them, but apartment security records showed only Williams had entered. Where had these items gone? Witness statements were also mysterious. 7 witness statements had been taken on the first night, but only 3 witness statements were in the final file. Where were the missing 4 statements? What did they say? The most striking deleted statement was from the person said to be Sal's boyfriend. This person had said Sal was anxious that night and said, "Someone is following me."
This statement wasn't recorded in the minutes, and this person's identity was never revealed.
The initial report from the Los Angeles coroner's office contained the note, "This could be a hate crime." Dr. Thomas Noguchi, examining the stab wounds on Sal's body, had said, "The attack contains excessive anger. This isn't just robbery." But this note was later deleted, and reason for deletion unknown was written. Dr. Noguchi's original report contained these observations. The stab wounds were designed not just to kill, but to inflict pain. The first blow missed the heart, but the attacker didn't stop. The second and third blows were made while the victim was lying on the ground. This is a sign of personal revenge or a hate crime. This assessment indicated a much darker motivation than a simple robbery. Anti-gay attacks were on the rise in Los Angeles in 1976. According to LAPD statistics, 47 gay individuals were attacked that year, and 7 died. Was Sal part of these statistics? During that period, an anti-gay group called The Family was active in Los Angeles. This group targeted gay individuals and sent threatening letters. FBI files record that this group also sent letters to Sal. Sal's friend and colleague Rod Steiger said in his funeral speech, "Sal's death wasn't random. He was targeted for who he was." These words caused a major stir in the media and strengthened the hate crime theory. The gay rights advocate organization had classified Sal's death as a hate crime and requested a detailed investigation from LAPD. Organization President Harvey Milk, who himself would be murdered in 1978, said, "Hollywood cannot protect gay artists." But police rejected this request, citing insufficient evidence. Sal's friends also believed it was a hate crime. Director Dennis Hopper said in an interview, "Sal's death wasn't random. He was targeted. He'd been receiving threats for months, but police didn't take it seriously." In 1976, the number of openly gay people living in West Hollywood was very small, and Sal was part of this brave minority. During that period, coming out meant not only social, but also physical danger. If you want to learn how this emotional and mysterious story concluded and its effects that continue to this day, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell, because we continue to share the dark secrets of Hollywood and unsolved murders. There were 3 main witnesses who said they were at Sal's house the night of his death. The first witness, an unnamed boyfriend, moved from Los Angeles in 1977 and was never heard from again. Even family members didn't know where he was. The second witness, Sal's assistant Michael Mason, died in a traffic accident in San Francisco in 1979. The police report said brake failure, but the mechanic said brake lines were cut. This contradiction was not investigated. The third witness, neighbor Mrs. Eleanor Martinelli, remained silent for 47 years. In a 2023 interview at age 91, she said, "I was afraid. I was worried something would happen to me too." What kind of threat had she received? When all these coincidences are considered together, a dark picture emerges. Were witnesses really threatened? Or was this just a paranoid conspiracy theory? In the 2010 Seconds True Crime podcast brought the Sal Mineo case back to the agenda. The Unsolved Hollywood Murders podcast examined the inconsistencies in the case in detail and reached 2 million listeners. In 2015, the Los Angeles Times published a special file on the 40th anniversary of Sal's death. Journalist Michael Ordona spoke with new witnesses and said, this case should be reopened. But LAPD rejected the request, saying there's no new evidence. In 2019, Netflix's Unsolved Mysteries series wanted to cover Sal's case, but LAPD refused to provide the files. This refusal also increased suspicions. Why was LAPD still keeping a 43-year-old case secret? True crime communities continue to develop theories online. The Sal Mineo Truth subreddit on Reddit has reached 50,000 members. Theories include professional hitman, FBI-connected murder, anti-gay organization attack, ***, Lionel Ray Williams prison confessions, ***. Lionel Ray Williams died of cancer in prison in 2019. It was said he made a confession to a priest before dying, but the priest didn't reveal details due to confession privilege. What did Williams said? A prisoner who shared a cell with Williams said in a 2020 interview, Lionel told me I was just the trigger man. Others planned it, but he didn't give names. This claim wasn't verified but reignited the debates. Williams' family believed their son was innocent. His mother, Dorothy Williams, said in 2015, "My son didn't commit that murder. They forced him to confess." But she couldn't provide evidence. 48 years later, Sal Mineo's death is still being debated. Official records say robbery, but evidence tells a different story. Missing witnesses, deleted statements, the FBI's secret role, inconsistent court decision. What's the truth? Did Lionel Ray Williams really act alone, or was he part of a larger conspiracy? Why was the FBI so interested? Where did the missing evidence go? These questions will probably never be answered, but Sal Mineo's death represents Hollywood's dark side, the anti-gay atmosphere of the 1,970 seconds, and still unsolved mysteries. Sal Mineo was murdered at age 37 during the most difficult period of his career. Official records listed him as a robbery victim, but the truth is probably much more complex and dark.